Good morning, children. It's nice to see you all back once again through this virtual class. Today, in our virtual class, we're going to learn a new grammar topic from the second unit. The grammar topic assigned to us in the second unit is articles. So, we're going to learn how to use articles in a sentence. So, there are three articles in English language. They are a, an, and the. So, how do we use them? You can watch them displayed in the screen before you. A, an, and the are called articles. We use a or an with singular nouns only. You all would have learned singular and plural forms in your previous classes. Nouns also. Now, for example, how do you use before singular nouns? A girl. A girl is a singular noun. A girl. An orange. So here you'll come to learn it in detail when to use a and when to use an. So this is the first rule of using the singular article a and an. So you will use only a and an before singular nouns. And the second one, we use a with singular nouns and adjectives which begin with a consonant sound. We use a before singular nouns and adjectives, but it should have only consonant sound. You have to be very careful. Not before consonant letter, only before consonant sound. For example, a computer. Computer, no, it has consonant sound. You know what are all the vowel sounds? If you look at the letters A, E, I, O, U, these are the 5 vowel letters. But in a sentence, not all these vowel letters will have vowel sound. The examples for those we'll see later in the next page we'll be learning. So we use a with a singular noun and before a singular noun and an adjective which begin with a consonant sound, like a computer, a unit, a wonderful artist. But when will you use an? You can see in the screen. We use an with singular nouns and adjectives which begin with a vowel sound. Sound. No, you have to be careful. The thing which you're learning is not vowel letter. You're learning it as vowel sound. Now, an artist. The first sound is art. No, ah. So that is a vowel sound. An MLA. Here you look at the letter M is a consonant letter, but the sound is a vowel sound. Ah. An honest shopkeeper. An honest shopkeeper. Here honest. The letter is a consonant letter, but the sound is a vowel sound. Ah. Now what are all those vowel sounds? Now the sound which comes from the inside without any usage of our mouth parts. That is a vowel sound. Now you can see all these sounds. No? Ah, e, oo, e, I. Now when you try all these sounds, you will see that you are not using any of your mouth parts. All the sounds comes from the inside without usage of any mouth parts, and it's only overflow of air outside. So without any organs in your mouth, you use such sounds. So those letters are called vowels. So you can see an or artist, ah. That's the first sound. So an. MLA, though the letter is M, it is a consonant letter, but the sound is M, MLA. So in English also, like every other language, we have 12 vowels and 8 diphthongs. You might have learned 26 English letters, but there are 44 speech sounds in English. So when you learn phonetics in English, you'll come to learn all the 44 sounds. So like every other language, even English language has 12 vowels and 8 diphthongs. So diphthongs, 2 vowels which come together. Now that is what is called diphthong. So when you learn them in detail, you will come to know what is a exact vowel sound. Now you have to note here, words beginning with consonant letters do not always begin with consonant sound. That example you saw, isn't it? Not consonant letter. MLA. M is a consonant letter, but the sound is a vowel sound. Similarly, words beginning with vowel letters do not always begin with vowel sounds. In case if it starts with a vowel letter, that doesn't mean it has a vowel sound. For example, European. Now, European, the letter is vowel letter, isn't it? A, E, I, O, U, E. but the sound is not a vowel sound. European, it sounds like say, European. The first letter, no, you can sound, you can hear the Y sound, you can hear there. European. So that is not a vowel sound. Honor sounds like honor. That H will become silent. Honor. So that is a vowel sound. So this is what you have to be very careful when you're using a and an. You should use a before singular noun and adjective, and you'll use an before singular noun and adjective. The difference between a and an is a you'll use before consonant sounds and an you'll use before vowel sounds. Now let's see how you use the. We use the when a person, an animal, a plant, a place, a thing is mentioned for the second time. When you mention a particular thing for the second time, you use the. For example, look at the sentence. I bought a book this morning. So here, a book. That is because it is starting with a singular noun. And the sound is consonant. So I bought a book this morning. Now when it is repeated, see the same sentence is continuing. I am reading the book now. I'm reading the book because book has already been used in the previous sentence. So it is coming for the second time. And so I'm reading the book. So when it comes for the second time, you will use the. So there are so many rules, in which to tell you how to use the. So this is the first one. And the second one, we can watch in the second page. We'll move on to the next page. So page number 41. Now, we use the when it is clear to the listener or reader which person, animal or thing we are referring to. When the person knows to whom we are referring to. For example, the judge found him not guilty. Now you know the person. So the judge found him not guilty. If you had not known the judge, a judge found him not guilty. A judge found him not guilty. But when you know that person, you are watching the judge there. What happened? What did the judge do? The judge found him not guilty. So when you know the person, you use the. And we use the when there is only one such thing, only one particular thing is there. Then you use, that is very unique thing. We use the. There is only one earth as far as we know. So we'll use only the earth. The earth goes round the sun. So this is how we'll use the. Then next, we'll also use the when we before ordinal numbers. Now what are ordinal numbers? First, second, third, like that. No, those numbers are ordinals. Now I live on the third floor. An example for this is I live on the third floor. So before this, we use the. And then we use the before some proper nouns. So proper noun means it mentions only one particular thing or a name or a person, animal, etc. Now, for example, Indian Ocean is there. It's only one Indian. So it's a proper noun. The Indian Ocean. The Arabian Sea, likewise, etc. We use the and before going to the next, even in other many other proper nouns also, the Nilgiris, the Kaveri, etc. And the next one, we use the before names of most buildings. We use the before the name of buildings, landmarks, monuments, and natural wonders. For example, the Park Hotel, the Taj Mahal. So we use the here as well. And then we use the before names of places containing of important places. We use the before naming important places. For example, the Republic of China, the Republic of China, etc. Then we use the before the names of places ending in plurals. If the places ends in plural, more than multiple thing only is called as plural, which you know. For example, the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Islands plural. So there are so many islands are there in that particular country, Andaman and Nicobar. So you say the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Then the Netherlands. Netherlands, again it's plural. So before this term you use the. But earlier I mentioned you use the before proper nouns, but there are also a few other places where we don't use the before proper nouns. For example, some name of continents like Africa, those and all are proper noun. Africa is only one particular thing, but we don't use the. There are also exceptions. Africa, Asia, etc. Then name of countries like India, we don't say the India, isn't it? Only India, Belgium, etc. And names of some towns and cities like Tokyo, Chennai, etc. or Ooty, etc. And name of some streets also. Some streets, most of the streets you use the before those proper noun, but in some Richie street like that, no, you don't use the. And some nouns can be counted and they are called countable nouns. The noun, it's naming word, name of a person, place, animal, or thing. So nouns, whichever you can count are called countable nouns, and whichever you can't count are called uncountable nouns. So we use a or an only before countable nouns. So that is what that's where you use a or an. Only thing distinguish between a and an is an you'll use before vowel sound and a before consonant sound. Now for an example, countable. Okay, a leaf fell off the tree. A leaf, countable, one leaf, a leaf. Now uncountable, rain can cause flooding. That is uncountable. Can you count rain? No. So you won't say a rain, only rain. Rain can cause flooding. That is uncountable. Whereas we use the with uncountable nouns. But what do we use before uncountable nouns? The. When it is clear to the reader which things we are referring to. So, but the reader knows which things we are referring to. We do not use the with uncountable nouns when we are talking in general. Now, before uncountable nouns, you'll use the, but the speaker should know about what you're speaking. When you speak about something which the speaker doesn't know, there you don't use the. Now, uncountable nouns do not take the plural forms at all. Plural forms, it will not take plural forms at all. Now, for example, the rice in the supermarket is good. You use the. It is uncountable. Rice, you don't say I can count one by one. That's not the way you count. Usually, you don't count and say rice. So there, rice is something the person knows. He won't ask what is rice. He knows what is rice. So there you say the rice in the supermarket is good. Rice is the staple food of Asians. But how do we know rice is a staple food of Asians? Now somebody, when you say to some other countryman or some other person in the continent, stable means very regular food of Asians is rice. There he doesn't know much about rice. So only you are specifying and telling rice. So in the first one, it was uncountable, but still it is known to that person. Second one, it's uncountable, but it's not known much to that person. That's where you use the. Then likewise, you also use some. The word some can be used with both countable and uncountable nouns in the following way. You can not only you can also use some before uncountable nouns. For example, I want some apples. I want some apples. I want some papers. Like that, you can also use some before uncountable nouns. I think with this you understood an article and how to use a, an, and the. I think to summarize, a and an you'll use before singular nouns and adjectives. Only the difference is between whether it is a vowel sound or a consonant sound. And the, there are a few rules and regulations where you have to use before using the. Well, now let's move on to the next page where some exercises have been given. 2 exercises are given for you. Let us try to do those exercises. You can pause the video for some time and you can do them in your textbook or in a notebook. You can write and keep. And after that, you can play the video and then find out whether the answer is correct. Now let me dictate the answers for the sentences. Nagarajan and Dhanalakshmi want to buy a new house. They have come to see a house for sale. Complete the conversation below by adding a, an, or the. Well, here we are, number 8, Kaveri Street. I think this is the house we saw online. So you have to fill the blank with the. What do you think of dash the location? What do you think of the location? For that, Dhanalakshmi replies, it is in a nice neighborhood and it's close to the railway station. Nagarajan, and the bus stop is not too far away. Dhanalakshmi, how many rooms are there? Nagarajan, there are 3 rooms, a kitchen and a balcony.
Dhanalakshmi, there is the lawn behind the house, right? Nagarajan, that's right. The lawn is actually quite large. Did you see any photos of the living room online? What does it look like? Dhanalakshmi, the living room looks great. It looks bright and airy. It has a nice view of the hills, but the kitchen looks a little small. Then Nagarajan, and I remember you said there isn't a storeroom, right? Dhanalakshmi, no, but there is an attic where we can store things. Nagarajan, I hope this house is a better option. A better option. Dhanalakshmi, let us wait for the real estate agent. She said she would be here at 3 o'clock. Nagarajan, look here. Pardon me. Look there. She is. So this is the conversation between these two people. I hope you would have checked your answers, and I'm confident that you would have found most of the answers to be correct. Next, another exercise has been given here. Few articles are missing in the given passage. Edit the passage given below by adding suitable articles wherever necessary. Now, as we read, they would have missed writing articles in this paragraph. Let us fill the article. My neighborhood is, so you can find that an article is missing here. My neighborhood is a very interesting place. Second sentence, my house is located in an apartment. In an apartment, you have to write an before apartment. Building downtown near many stores and offices. There is a small supermarket across the street where my family likes to go shopping. There is also a post office, a post office, and a bank, because all are singular nouns. A bank near our home. In our neighborhood, there is a small green park where my friends and I like to play on weekends and holidays. There is a small pond near the park, and there are many ducks in the park. Because park, when it's coming for second time and third time, you'll use the. We always have a great time, adjective, a great time. In addition, there is an elementary school, so that is a vowel sound, an elementary school close to our home where my little brother studies in 3rd grade. There are so many things to see and do in my neighborhood. That's why I like it. Finally, the last sentence. It is a really great place. It's a really great place. So that's what it is. Well, children, I think you would have found the answers for the second exercises as well, and you would have found them correct. Well, today I hope all of you learned about articles, and you would have known how to use them in your sentences. I hope that in future, when you write a sentence using article, you'll check and make sure that you are using the correct article. So, well, now I would like all the students to take a photocopy, or a snapshot of the exercises which you did now, and you can send them to the group. Well, immediately after this particular grammar topic, you can say another grammar topic, prepositional phrases, which we'll be learning in our next class. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Goodbye.